Scott, we obviously had to see how both guys got through practice, but anticipating that Dylan and Josh will both be in tomorrow?
Yeah, haven't got the official, but both felt good talking about the end of practice, and yeah, they both feel a lot better than they did. Obviously, Sammy's a different scenario, but conditioning's up and running, and and JMO feels good.
What have you guys missed the most, I guess, about without having Dylan Samberg in the lineup, and what will his return do for this group?
Well, he's earned obviously the opportunity to become a top four defenseman the last few years, and him being able to play those minutes, we'll see how those minutes go tomorrow. But just him being able to go against top six forwards, his ability, his footwork, his ability to close, be physical, be heavy on those guys makes such a difference. And there's the chemistry with P that was obviously big, and then the penalty kill. That's the next part of it. So, yeah, he's a key piece for us. That when you lose those guys, they're hard to replace.
The other night, the pairing of Villy and Dylan Coghlan had a pretty good night.
Yeah.
Analytically, it was a really good showing for them. So, how do you go about the decision as to how you?
Yeah.
Third pair?
Yeah, it's going to kind of be that way. I think it's going to kind of. I really liked how they both played, but I liked what Cogs did more than anything. I just was staying. I wanted lefty righty tomorrow. I'm not married to that, but I do want it tomorrow against LA.
PK question. I asked Neil Pionk about this as well. There's sort of a read that D have to make when they're in front of the net and the puck gets moved over to the flank, but they're going to step out into that lane. What goes into doing that well? It almost looks like a race, like having a good first step is probably going to help you.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of initiated by what the two forwards do. We're trying to make that a long pass. When it's a seam pass that goes through from one flanker to the other, that's tough for that D-man to get out there. When it goes up and then over, our D that's the idea, is so that they're getting an early jump and they're there. A lot of times, if you're there early, that forward won't shoot the puck. When you're late, he's obviously going to see more of the net and probably take that shot. So it's based more on our forwards trying to buy him some time to get out and get out from the front of the net and get himself over there, because obviously it's a shift that happens. 1D is already probably out at the dot. We're trying to buy time so that he can get back and our other guy gets moving.
Right, yeah, I guess the 2-second highlight reel, usually if a goal goes in, the D's looking slow on that, but you're saying rewind and look at what the lanes are like?
Yeah, and that's the other thing too, is that you have to get in the lane too. The idea is to get that flanker thinking, okay, no, I'm not taking this shot because it's going to go right into his shin pads or he's right in front of me. So, yeah, I mean, the earlier we can get there, the more time you have to probably close that lane off.
I don't think this, I mean, you tell me, I don't think it's been an issue of a whole bunch of failed clears or what have you, but the other game, I think Lowry wins to Stan puts it around the wall, and Forsberg gets that goal. Is that something that's been a struggle for the PK? Or?
I think it has. There is some areas, and it isn't always, because it still is 5 against 4. We talk a lot about, because flankers are out wide, if we do have those situations where we get a chance to make a clear, sometimes it has to be one pass first. Sometimes it has to be, we don't want the guy just throwing it blind around the wall and all of a sudden their defenseman is standing there waiting for it. I think there's times where, we can use the glass and get it out hard. There's times where we can, you don't have a chance to make a hard play around the wall. Maybe you make a play into the middle to one of the forwards, and I think that's an area for us that we can clean up for sure.
Back to Samberg briefly, how much do you have to ease him in after all that time?
We'll see. So, and we know we got the back-to-backs, but at the end of the day, that's why he's been kind of conditioning here for the last 7-8 days there. He hasn't really missed any days, so he's getting himself up to speed, and now today he got into that pretty good contact drill, kind of more game-like stuff, and that kind of helps him get going. But we'll see. Obviously if the load's heavy, I talked to him already, that's going to have to be short shifts, but if it's his load is getting heavy, maybe because of PK or whatever it might be, then obviously we can slide Stan in there to give him some rest there and kind of catch back up.
What are you going to learn about your team these next 2 games? We'll need to see.
Same thing we learn every game. Every game's its own sort of challenge. And
Pretty heavy back-to-backs.
yeah, well, they're 2 big teams. Like a big LA team, big defensive team, one of the best defending teams in the league when it comes to analytics. You know, they're a team that obviously is playing extremely well, especially since the last time we saw them. And you know, you're gonna have to fight for every inch. For us to get offense, we're gonna have to get inside. We're gonna have to work. We're gonna have numbers around the puck. Defending, we're gonna have to do the same thing. Is that it's gonna be us keeping people on the outside. And I mean, Colorado's Colorado. We'll talk about them on Saturday. But for me, LA's a really good challenge for us right now. You know, we can score goals, but they're really good at defending.
Scott, just wondered, what was the purpose behind angling the net on the face-off circle the way you did with that battle drill at the
The trench, that's just something. That's a drill. It's kind of built that we haven't been able to do. Like I've said to you guys, a few things we haven't been able to do. It just put them in tight situations, two on two battles. It has nothing to do really with the net. It has more to do with these are battles that are happening in the corners. Kind of like I said, we're going to get into these against LA, and I want us to just kind of tone ourselves up, kind of get ourselves into a situation where you're working with a partner, and it's just a drill we've used over the year, and it's just something I hadn't done in a while.